Hello and welcome to another match from the top 16 of our Czech DC Masters 2025. My name is Jiří Jindra and I'm one of the commentators. You might have seen me in our videos. I wanted to let you know that we are currently running a subscriber goal. We decided that if we hit 500 subscribers, we will release 7 never seen before rounds we recorded on a second camera during the event for free. And it will be commentated by me and Honza. But guys, you must hit the subscribe button. Now let's jump into the game.
The only interaction Azusa can have is to touching the graveyard.
Yeah, and Bazooka Bog is a nice thing, but you can't really have that in Azusa.
Well, you kinda can. There's the pit.
The Pit of Offering, that is a good
And
option.
you can, for example, put it into play at instant speed.
You can do the
Urza's
crop,
Cave
you
or
can crop rotation, Urza's Cave, and
which
other stuff.
might be the only saving grace for Azusa to have some say in this matchup.
True. We will see what is possible. Now, to be quite honest, our players have a lot of time to deal with these turns.
Yes.
Because they are giving an hour and a half of a timer, because these are semifinals. Quarterfinals, but still, it's
yes.
top 8. So I'm really looking forward to see how this turns out and what decks will actually get to the semis.
I would honestly bet that we don't need the extra turns in that
Yeah,
matchup.
like extra time here is probably not going to be needed, although it depends on the speed that these guys will play the decks. Putting away the Mishra's Bubble seems interesting. That could be a Sylvan Library.
This is Sylvan Library.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a 2-mana, weird-looking thing. In Japanese or Chinese, yes, definitely Sylvan Library.
Slightly less recognizable than the old art.
Yeah.
Of course.
But still quite powerful, especially in this matchup where, you're not really under pressure from board. You can just, pretty easily just lose life.
But you are like easing the tendrils of agony.
True, you're allowing your
Stormcast.
opponent to just go for a lesser storm, let's say.
And have the kill easier.
Is there already going to be
No way.
just
That would be
Just
insane.
a Rograkh play?
Well, you play the Rograkh as we said earlier in this tournament. The turn you wanna use it in some capacity.
True, but I don't understand, what is the advantage? Do you want to attack with that?
Well, sometimes maybe like instant speed or nauseam.
Could be. That could be the case, actually. Yeah,
Right.
and this would allow it.
Culling the weak into
Culling the weak
nauseam,
into ad nauseam,
for
into
example.
I win next turn.
Yeah, we didn't really see the player's hand, so we don't know exactly
Yeah,
what's
but
in there.
honestly, apart from culling the weak into ad nauseum, there I don't see
Okay,
any other option. Yeah, it is
something-
called mana source, but that's the old way of naming rituals. It is just an instant
Right.
that has as an additional cost. That's Azusa being
Yeah,
played
up
in
from
top
Yavim-
loader.
Yeah, from Yavimaya.
Okay, Ghost Quarter, sure.
Okay, that also way to slightly interact with.
I'm not sure if it
touching the
doesn't
lands.
even help.
It doesn't really, and also helps to fill the graveyard. So
Yeah,
it's not-
that's what I meant. It could even help a little because there are 2 basic lands in the deck probably.
not definitely not the reason you play the card.
True.
This matchup.
True.
Yeah, this is the end from the Lord of the Rings, something end. That allows you to draw 3 cards.
That's that's
Pot of Greed.
sort of a offering card, Yeah, the nasty end. That's it.
Nasty end.
Draw 2, and if it's a legendary, draw 3.
So you got the answer.
yeah,
you're looking
the
for.
reason for sacrificing
Yeah.
Rograkh just to get cards.
And like you said before, with the Azusa being better than Root, now you see the example that you usually don't have all 5 lands in the opening hand.
True,
So
and
you use.
there was only 1 extra land
Yeah.
being played.
So in this case, it wouldn't matter if
Yeah.
that was Loot or Azusa.
Yeah, true. And also remember there is the Yavimaya, so all mana is green, which can't help Marek really, but could help Sam.
Possibly if there is some land that costs
there
you
is
life
the
to
Dread
activate. Huge.
Fuge. That's the name of the
It
the thing.
takes
There is the
mana
new
value,
Ugi.
less mana value card, up to 2, I
Yeah.
believe. So I think that's a wave.
That's a wave.
And Beast Dividend, we
Beast
see.
Within is mana value 3, I believe, but the new Ugin could be great.
Yeah.
It is a fun card, although in this matchup, it doesn't really do much.
Yeah, it can give you life and making slightly harder for your opponent to kill you, but
Yeah.
that's about it. Really.
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay,
Because-
if you get to the ultimate, all the right, but I don't believe that your opponent will let you get
Yeah,
there.
not only the card advantage is kind of worthless and the ramping ability, it also usually you don't have anything to hit with the exile,
Yeah,
the removal
true.
spell trigger.
That is the exact reason why it doesn't really do much. There is also the Crucible of Graphics, which can help a little bit, I guess.
Cursor of
Yeah, sorry, the console.
Cursor and
Cursor, yeah.
Cursor of Graphics and Oracle of Muldaya. The
Yeah, both they kind of do the same thing, right?
original land-based RPGs staples.
Yeah, and like Beast Within also is not a card that can really help you in this case.
And City of Traitors on the Rograkh side to help ramp a little.
Yeah, there is there's a Skull Clan,
This is common, yes.
and then just Rograkh being replayed just to get more cards.
Right. We will see if Azusa will finally get some extra cards from the Sylvan Library.
Yeah.
That would be the situation to help.
Yeah, the
get-
problematic thing is that you can just get locked behind the Sylvan Library. Like, you know, you are not drawing anything that's useful.
That's why you take it all.
Right, that's why I just take it all and just try to find something better. And that's the graphics.
Yeah. Cursor of Graphics.
Cursor, that's it.
Cursor of Graphics.
Ooh, a land.
And
Nice.
this is the old version of the cards that let you play lands from the top of your deck.
Yeah.
And this one reveals the top card to your opponent as well.
Yeah.
That's the biggest distinction. And Oracle of Muldaya does the same thing. It
Right.
reveals the top.
True. Like these cards, you know, nowadays, why would you show it to your opponent? Just play it.
Extra land drop, the first for a turn, Horizon of Progress.
Yeah, and now this card is basically the Crucible Worlds for lands, the one that's on top. I think that's the one from March of
Yes.
the Machine that does a similar thing.
Yeah, that allows you then to cast a permanent card from your graveyard.
Could be something like that. It has a
Yeah, it is.
graveyard.
I
replaying
just don't
effect.
recall the name.
Ooh,
You
combat. Red zone. Well, it is
Okay.
damage. First blood.
Why didn't Sam get more cards from the Sylvan Library if he's going to
I
break
think he
like that?
drew one extra.
Yeah, that's too
Why
little
not
to
two?
do anything.
Maybe the idea was it's a land, so he will just play the land from the
Maybe there's something useful in the hidden
Crucible?
cards, but
Could be.
like this, he can do anything.
Right.
He could at least activate the Ghost Quarter on himself, which
Could help.
or on the city.
Well,
or,
he still shuffles.
yeah, because you shuffle your library and there is a chance you have land on top.
True. But he chose not to. He just chose to go for the opponent.
Right.
Yeah, because Ghost Quarter doesn't shuffle your own library because you're not getting a card for it. Right.
Yeah.
It's,
Only the player that gets
yeah,
to land
because
destroyed.
it's not Field of the Dead. It's
Right.
it's Ghost Quarter. Yeah. My bad.
One the original. But this doesn't do anything, as we said to you. It helps with filling the Rograkh's graveyard, which he really likes. And it's not only. It wouldn't make sense if it was targeted on the City of Traitors, because
Sure.
at least it lowers the mana count. But still, Rograkh mainly wants to have as many colors as possible.
That's what I was also thinking. Colored
in,
mana.
especially in this earlier part.
Yeah,
of
but
the
now
game.
City of Traitors will get sacrificed.
No, not
It
when
says
the-
play?
Yes.
Ah,
You
okay.
have to play another
Oh,
land.
okay, it's a very old wording that doesn't really appear, but yes, it does say whenever you play. Okay, yeah, that does make sense. Otherwise, it would not make sense to find a land.
Otherwise, it would be a really good play on Sam's side.
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
display two lands in the single
True,
blow.
that would be brutal. Well, you could just fail to
Right.
find, right?
So, does Azusa have anything to? Or just is like
That is
clearly
yeah.
open to Rograkh?
That
just
is a good
comboing
question.
Off.
I believe, honestly, even if Rograkh would not combo now,
Because if you don't have anything, why
Yeah.
not take everything from
True.
library to have at least a chance to get something from the top.
I would really like to know what is the plan on side of Sam, because right now it seems bleak.
Yeah, even bleaker if you regard the fact that Marek is counting.
Right.
And Rograkh counting is pretty bad.
Okay, so there is
situation.
once again the Skull Climb, and Rograkh is going to the bin, which means now he wants to have. He actually drew like 4 cards from the Rograkh.
Yeah.
No, not just 4.
It
He
was
drew,
the Nasty and that was a free card
yeah,
from your
3
commander.
and then 2 from the Skull Climb.
5 extra cards.
5 extra
and
cards is nice.
The mana is kind of tight on one
Yeah.
hand, and on the other, well, he's thinking about it. He 100% has some extra land in play, but he counts the City of Traitors being sacrificed. So this is a turn that he has more lands than the next one.
Yes,
So
yes.
now the big decision
think this is- if
going
it-
for the kill.
Right.
Going for. Is there a chance even?
The question is this the turn that I try to go for it or no?
It's looking like the answer,
The
is
answer might be no.
yeah, most likely.
Yeah, just once again, Skull Climb,
Using the card advantage,
Yeah,
and
just
mana
getting
to the max.
another treasure actually, which is a ramp.
Yeah,
and
it kind of
more
gives you the mana
cards.
back,
Right.
plus the scry also.
Well, it not only gives you the mana back, it allows you to not play another land to destroy City of Traitors.
Well,
which it
if you-
ramps you for next turn.
if you
in a way.
activate it, you wanna do it anyways because you play a land and next
Sure,
turn you
sure,
most
sure.
likely play another
Yeah.
land and you are even.
I understand, but like for the next turn, there's gonna be 1 extra mana than if he would not just play the greedy freebooter.
Yeah, I believe if he is like basically guaranteed to have a win next turn,
Yeah.
he might consider not playing another land this
Yeah,
turn.
now we actually see the way that the deck works if you don't have just everything. Because now it's just setup with setup with setup.
Well, the thing is, against Azusa, he has all the time in the world.
True.
He's not pressured by killing him.
Which
with-
just feels wrong, honestly. Oh!
And there's the land.
He,
Yeah.
So in the end he chose to play. Okay.
Well, if you have 20 cards in hand,
True,
you're just
what else do you
counting
do?
the
and you want to
possibilities.
add more cards to the graveyard because you probably have like the Underworld Breach to win
Right.
with.
Considering there is a fetch land, also another card in the
Yeah.
graveyard. And this is a discard, I believe.
It
to
could
the end
be.
step.
It could be the end step discard, probably.
Yeah.
3
Looks
lands.
like it,
yeah,
definitely.
it's the end step. Cleanup.
Okay.
Not just end step, the cleanup phase.
The open mana kind of like intrigues me because what could be there? Some kind of instant speed interaction?
Good. Yeah, well, yeah, that is the problem with.
Some new cards
Yeah,
from the
he
Azusa
has to actually reveal them.
because he's drawing the
Yeah,
cards with Silver Library.
and
Definitely.
that
Yes.
looks like a Trinosphere.
Trinisphere, yes.
That is the Trinosphere,
Well,
which is brutally good. Here.
incredibly interesting. This is
Yes.
also a card that was played on the video I seen Jan Hurt versus
Yeah.
Azusa. That
And this is the card we were talking about that Sam needs.
yeah, I didn't recollect that Azusa can play the card.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what it wants.
Sounds
because
good.
once you force your opponent to pay 3 mana for everything, you cannot storm off because you can't possibly have that much mana.
Yeah, and I don't really know how much interaction they have in the deck for this kind of thing.
Well, there has to be something. but
Probably.
Only also getting to there.
Yeah.
Because playing a tutor for 3
Cost
mana
3.
to cast something for free,
Yeah,
to remove the
it's
Trinisphere,
just brutal.
it's setting
And
the opponent behind so much.
And Sam will now have a lot of time and potentially enough time to just start going off, even with Ugin maybe, or something else.
Azusa
just
just
combat for
bought,
4.
I don't know
Sorry,
how
3.
many terms.
Yeah,
turns,
well, it's 3 damage
for
a
him.
turn, so good work.
Yeah.
It is a clock. He can actually be within his own thing later on, if he really chooses to have a 3-3.
And you realize again, Sam didn't choose to play or to get any cards extra from the top of the library.
It might be the case where he feels safe behind Trinosphere, And
Yeah.
he hopes that his opponent will actually not get that high of a storm count.
Which is kind of impossible. If you know
well,
perfectly how the deck works
yeah.
with the sphere in play, this is just basically no way,
It-
unless the first spell is a removal.
True.
There's just
But
no
it
way.
is just like a super safe play, I would say. And I don't really see the reason why, like, not to just thin the top of the deck to find some threats. Really.
Because the safer way is to kill your opponent as soon as possible.
Yeah,
So
I believe so.
I would just go.
I don't
for
believe
the-
that giving them more time is safer because you keep higher life total.
Yeah,
I don't want to throw shades at our Azusa player, but
because few
go
extra
Azusa
lands.
in a French flag. Love you, French.
Because
Bonjour, and that's it.
because all the extra lands from the top of library would allow you to play Oracle this turn and go off, like going
Yeah.
through the deck and putting way
Yeah.
more cards into play. Maybe some like insulation, another type of layer of interaction against the
I
Rograkh.
believe that either another hate piece of sorts
Right,
or
exactly.
some real threat.
Like
Let's be honest, they're just 3
confrontation
damage.
for Graveyard
Some,
hate.
yeah, some kind of big creature that will just end the turn the next turn.
Yep.
Sorry, end the game the next turn.
yes.
That could also work, but there is nothing right now.
Yeah, and only 2 mana, so not even the Beast Within
There
is
could be
online right
Boseiju
now.
potentially or something like that.
Or the crop rotation.
Crop rotation could also.
I don't
Yeah,
believe
crop
we
rotation
saw
would be nice.
The 2 cards, they are mystery
Yeah,
to
we
everyone.
haven't because
They are hidden.
The top was revealed after these two were drawn.
So Rograkh is counting a lot, but is there?
I'm not sure how
Anyway.
well can Rograkh count, but Marek is counting.
Yeah. Marek is counting which card to play and then pass a turn.
Yeah.
Basically.
Oh yeah, it's true. Like, how do I set up? What can I do?
I cast something and okay, this is a dig spell.
That's
It's ransack the lab. I
okay.
believe.
Ransack the lab.
It allows you to look at the top 3 cards, put 1 into hand, and the rest in the graveyard.
Okay,
think.
that helps, I guess. Sounds like a blue card, but sure.
Yeah, it spends your mana, and you might get something.
Absolutely. Like
Interesting.
you
Wish
need-
Claw Talisman.
I saw the Wish Claw, which is
Yes.
something that can help answer the Trinosphere.
Right.
Although
Very
it will
delightful.
take like 3 turns to deal with
Right,
that.
and once you
And there is the Beast
use
Within.
once you use it to answer the Trinisphere,
Yeah.
then you pass the turn because you don't have any mana to
Yeah.
do both things, and then your opponent has Wish Claw Talisman, which can
Absolutely.
use, and
And, like,
then Beast Within.
Imagine you just play the Witch Claw Talisman for 3 mana. You don't have anything else to
Yeah.
play. Your opponent can just play the new Ugin just to destroy it because it is
Right.
black.
If he gets enough mana.
Yeah, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, yeah, there's only 5 mana. He just needs 2, but
Yeah.
maybe if he chooses. Okay, Witch Claw Talisman is not going to his hand, so it's the
Right.
other card.
That was
I'm not sure where
Badlands?
it is. Maybe, yeah.
I saw
Land.
Badlands.
Lands are also important because you actually would like to have like more mana to play stuff.
yeah. In some time, possibly, you would be able to cast 2 spells and turn.
Yeah, okay, there is the Malevolent Rumble, there is the Crucible or something, and I think that's the Walking Closet or something.
Yes, the
That's the Crucible of Worlds.
locked in rooms card.
Yeah,
that
that's the
allows you
room
cast-
that works as Crucible
Sorry,
of Worlds.
play lands
Yeah.
from play.
Yeah,
All right.
I think it's called Walking Closet or something like that.
Walk
But
and closet. Yeah,
could-
right.
could be.
That's it. And we saw 4 non-land cards in a row from Azusa.
Yeah, it is a bit unfortunate.
Are you playing land deck or what?
Yeah,
What's going
are you
on?
even playing lands, bro?
It's like
Have you considered
pretty
not?
unlucky.
Yeah, have you considered drawing something else?
I would like curse myself for not ghost coloring myself.
Yeah,
previously
absolutely.
to shuffle the library.
There is now 3 mana being tapped for a card. It could
The
be
closet
It could be the closet.
into the ghost quarter.
Well, you
into
can actually just chain it.
yes.
And if the Rograkh player is playing the Trinosphere, is playing the Tainted Pact,
He
there is
has
only
very
one
limited-
basic land
Yep.
from each side, which means
Right.
this first one will just destroy, take the mountain away.
Yep.
But the second one and the third one
etc. Yeah,
will just
exactly.
destroy lands.
And
Now
once-
he still has 3 land drops.
Yep. And if the land count drops below 3, then you
Yeah, he's counting the amount of lands.
Cannot play any land,
I
any
think
spells.
It looks
after.
like this will be a lock basically
Yep.
via Trinosphere and the Ghost Quarter.
Yeah, there can be up to 4 basics. That's true. That's most
Yeah,
likely
it
the
can be the
case,
snow covered ones,
because
right?
we see a basic swamp in the graveyard.
It's true. That's also bad.
But that
Snow
means there are
covered.
only two more basics if there is a 10 pack.
But it doesn't look like a snow covered swamp. Maybe they are not playing. Yeah, it looks like they are not
yep.
just not playing Tainted Pack.
Right, but still, it is
It hurts.
some
It cuts.
angle that can be at the Rograkh can be attacked.
At least it's
definitely.
better than nothing, right? On
Yeah.
the other hand, when
Or
you see
you can finally shuffle your own library.
Put out the
right?
lot, yes. Get rid of the Crucible. You don't need it. You already
Yeah.
have it. Okay.
Like 4 non-land cards, what you gonna do with them, right?
Okay. Yeah. So it's played.
You need lands, bro.
Cool. Attack for 3.
Right.
Actually, it gains quite a lot of mana. Sorry, a life. Because every single
Yep.
land that comes in gains a life. Ghost Quarter can just target, like, yeah, he just snipes one land after another. Okay, so we have a deck list check actually from our production. There are 2 swamps, 2 snow-covered swamps, and 1 mountain.
Yeah.
Which means that Marek Voracek will just be basically relegated to only 1 red source
Right.
when it comes to lands, at least.
And once those get touched by the Ghost Quarter,
Yeah.
there will be no more lands coming.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Rograkh is now locked under the Trinisphere and attacked from 2 sides. From
Yeah.
the life total,
And mana angle actually.
pretty slowly, and also the Ghost
Yeah,
Quarter.
there is 5 lands, 5 basic lands, but one of them is in the bin actually.
What is the answer from the Rograkh side?
I don't know. And even if Sam doesn't really have anything like special or crazy good,
This, what we see, is just enough.
Actually,
right now.
maybe that is I can actually see the reason for not playing stuff, because the plan with the Beast Within is probably just to be
Targeting a land.
able either a land, or it can actually get rid of the Underworld Breach or something if it's played,
Right.
or
there
any
is-
kind of interaction.
There is also possibly a way to target the land, though the permanents, the win conditions. that the
Absolutely.
Rograkh can
Like,
use to
okay,
win.
you can't stop Bjogman's will, but you can deal with the breach. at
Yeah,
least.
single removal usually solves the issue because most of the things is sorcery speed.
Absolutely. This is really brutal.
Yeah, that's the idea. Beast Within to like
Yeah.
respond to the cast of the spell and to deal with the
Last
problematic
land
permanent.
probably, yeah, it is an option, 100%. Like, I know why he's not doing it now, because he doesn't have any other form of
To be
pressure.
100% sure you are in the top 16, you are leading position.
Yeah,
and
right
you
now they
don't
are in
need-
top 8 actually.
Yeah, and you don't need to take risks.
Yeah, risking now is not the best thing to do. So
Yeah, if I
take the time, chill a bit,
yeah.
let them cook in their own Trinosphere hell.
Yep. So if I were on the Azusa side of the table, I would feel pretty confident right now.
Yeah.
But still, I would want it to be extra sure I don't lose the game.
Absolutely. I would prefer to have another form of pressure. And the Azusa player is...
Or you can also beast within something yourself.
that
have
was
an
my
extra
idea.
clock.
Yeah, just, beast within, I don't know, the...
Trinisphere.
Beast within your own Trinosphere would be mental.
Not a good idea,
But
I
maybe
suppose.
the Sylvan or a
Like-
land. You can
Yep.
just be within a land, right?
You don't need the lands.
Because you can replay them.
Yep, sure.
Yeah, so if
Exactly.
you would just beast within your own land, just to replay it, you gain life.
I believe Sam is just waiting what's going to
Yeah,
be
just
this
being
turn,
extra cautious.
and if there is nothing from the Rograkh stack, then maybe the Beast Villain can be
Could be.
finally used to
Could be.
to some extent.
Although, yeah, that is probably the reason, because otherwise, why wouldn't he just play the Malevolent Rumble, right?
Or go scoring one more time, I believe he could.
I
Also,
think
there
he
was
was
some missed laptops.
Yeah. I wasn't sure why he did not
Because he kept
Do
the
it.
mana.
True.
Because after that he wouldn't.
Well, he can just do it in the end step, right? To go squatter again. But I think
Yeah. Or the Beast Villain. There are two options.
there are options for Sam. Yeah, I don't really know what angle can Marek take in this case. The Trinosphere is a brutal lock piece that is actually
first
not
thing
super common in
No.
Commander.
Well,
In Dual
I
Commander.
haven't seen Trinosphere in Dual Commander, I believe, like ever. This is
right.
the first appearance I've
Yeah.
seen, one of the first, and this is most likely exactly against those decks.
Absolutely.
Because,
And in Azusa it works.
yep, because you have no other choice.
Yeah.
Or almost no other choice. Okay, there is just
Ooh,
like some black mana.
that is the
Lake of the Dead.
of the Dead.
So for sacrificing a swamp.
Yeah,
you
that's
get-
the one that can make a lot of mana if you sacrifice swamps.
Let's see.
And it's
if
a
there is
pricey
something
one.
Interesting. Yeah. So 4-5 mana now available, or
Yeah,
6.
so now-
Because both
now there is
swamps were
6.
tapped before.
Yeah, now there is 6 black mana available.
Okay. What about it?
So
What is
now he can play a ritual to gain. For example, Dark Ritual now is a great card.
Yeah.
Pay 3 to gain 3.
To add a strong count.
Yeah, Storm +1.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Written on the card. Definitely.
Yeah.
Some sort of. If there was a removal to the Trinisphere and then Veil,
Could
that
be.
could be a game
Like,
over.
I don't know. Are you playing stuff like
Aberrate.
a braid? Could be the
Aberrate
thing.
is
Black-
most likely suspect.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, it's tutor for free cards.
I think
with some
so.
condition, but I don't recall the name.
I saw this card in.
Behold the Beyond.
Yeah, Behold the Beyond could be the name. I saw this card in Lotus Field decks in Pioneer.
Yeah. Behold the Beyond. Right.
Yeah, it is just a
You
crazy
discard
thing.
hand and search for free cards.
And just put them
There
in
has
your
to
hand.
be an answer in those free cards, right?
Well, yes.
So, and removal ritual. But
I would
you don't
say
have any mana.
I would say it's for next turn probably, right? You just get the removal,
Right.
you get
Yeah.
a ritual,
Yeah.
and you get
Breach or Veil.
probably Yawgmoth's because you know about the Beast Within.
The thing is, you will not have much mana next
Yeah.
turn because the Lake of the Dead won't survive the Ghost Quarter Onslaught.
That's true.
Exactly.
And actually,
And
I think that Marek will just run out of basic lands.
Yes, this is exactly what I wanted to say. Just realized that if Azusa player will also realize that he has this angle to attack.
Yeah, like
he doesn't know the deck
he
list.
doesn't know the deck list precisely, but
it is
he
worth
has
a
to
try.
know. He has to know that there is not infinite amount of basic lands.
Yeah, especially if this deck is a pretty on load count. I
Yeah.
believe like 46 or something.
Yeah.
most likely, and so you need to have both colors.
Sure.
Probably not a lot of basics, and it's definitely worth a try.
Yeah, it's quite common in Azusa. I can understand playing Trinosphere in Azusa. Like, that is the deck where I can understand that. It's probably even good like against, I don't know, Yoshimaru Brews, because they have a lot of cheap stuff and now they can play it against interactive decks. Force of Will, nice. No. Yeah, Days, cool. Yeah, or lightning bolts and stuff. Now suddenly they become much less
Right.
useful.
It can be useful in other cases, but
Yeah.
it's most for the situations when your opponent wants to play multiple plus in turn.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like the Lake of the Dead will just not survive, right? Like you don't want your opponent to have
No
it.
land will survive.
And with the walking closet, you can just blast. You can just start blasting.
And now you see the situation. Now it is the moment of truth. That
Are
once
there more-
the searching for basic will fail to find, the
Yeah.
Azusa player will exactly what to do next.
Right. And under the Trinosphere lock, it will be a problem.
Hello, Snow Comet.
I believe there is one more snow-covered swamp, and
Funny
that's
thing
it.
to realize.
Primeval Titan on top.
Oh, nice. One thing to realize: the player went through most of the deck to search for the one basic.
Yes.
That can alone tell that there is not many basic strength left.
Right, and there
Right.
is I think it's called Titania's Command.
Titania's command, exactly.
I remember the name, I don't know what it does.
4 different modes, something from a graveyard, I believe.
That's the thing, is there
Right.
something with a graveyard?
Let's see. Exile target player's graveyard. What a nice coincidence, right?
Yeah, Ghost Quarter hits a land. Does it not say non-basic?
No, Ghost Quarter just
All right. Okay.
kills
Okay.
everything.
Now, my brain is cooked. Now
This
I don't
is-
really. Yeah, that's it.
This is basically a nerf strip mine.
Yeah.
That refunds your opponent after destroying the land.
What can Marek
Yeah.
do about this?
Not searching for another land. That
Yeah,
means
he
the
just
game is
said
over.
like, okay, that's it. I have no more lands. I
Every
think.
only thing left is the treasure.
Yeah.
That Azusa can be split it to
Yeah.
traditional BM
True.
to just close out the game.
And then you can just play the
Finish it.
Primeval Titan and just
you
win.
can do whatever you want because your opponent
True.
can't do anything.
They have no mana.
Yeah.
And there is Trinosphere.
And no graveyard right now.
Yeah,
And-
exile tag this player's
And
graveyard.
I don't know what.
And you
Probably
gain 1
tokens
life for each
to
of it.
close out the game.
Yeah, that
This
is brutal.
this is probably the end of the game.
Does
right
it look
now.
like the end of the game? Yeah, like that was the Trinosphere.
This is scoop.
Oh my god. I did not expect for Azusa to have a real fighting chance.
As we said in the beginning, like there is no way Azusa can even stand a fighting chance in
And-
this matchup.
Not just in the beginning, it was like the first 3-4 turns right
Yes.
before we saw Trinosphere.
Truth be told, there was probably some really bad luck on the Rograkh side.
100%.
Because look how many cards he drew with the Skullclamp
Yeah.
and with the Nasty End. There could be a win. Right
Absolutely.
there.
Yeah,
But
Marek
it wasn't.
Voracek was quite unlucky.
It took one more turn, and on one more turn before that, Faithful Trinisphere
Yeah.
ended any chances. of
Interestingly,
just comboing
also, Sam was not really digging deep. He's not like a dwarf. He's not very greedy with his Sylvan library.
He doesn't need
just,
to be.
He just found it.
off. Yes,
He just
it was
like-
right there.
Right there, right
Oops.
the last card. Okay, that sounds good.
Perfect.
Let's take it.
Yeah, this is exactly what I wanted.
Yeah,
Cool.
this was fabulous.
That's
A
nice to
great
have
display.
in the top 8.
Absolutely. It is a great display of Magic, a great display of what the dual commander can offer you. I am absolutely flabbergasted by this result. I did not expect for Azusa to be able to come even close to winning. Trinosphere just beats.
And imagine
This.
if this game was bulk growth into Trinisphere on turn 2.
Yeah, that would be just nuts.
Not
Yeah,
likely,
and then just
I
chaining
suppose.
chaining Ghost Quarters just to destroy all the lands.
Yep, that's also crazy.
That is
I want your
actually
opponent is,
crazy. A bunch of lands.
Do we see Trinisphere? No.
I don't see the Trinosphere, I just see a bunch of lands.
Yeah, I don't think so too.
Might be.
You don't really.
Yeah.
You cannot really keep that land.
I
suppose.
I don't know what all the cards do because some of these lands, as I say, might be like normal cards. I just don't
One of
recognize.
the common the bounce land.
Yeah,
the-
I saw the Radiant Fountain, for example.
also.
Yeah,
yes.
just lands.
Yep.
Yeah,
another
that's a
one.
more.
And Rograkh kept the
It looks
7.
like they kept, yeah,
Wow.
because they are on play. And keeping a hand of 7 on play with a combo deck
Yeah.
usually means you basically have it.
Same with the
It's
down.
close to
in the
being
previous
perfect.
turns.
Yeah, it's close to being perfect.
Especially if you are losing the game.
Yeah.
If your opponent is leading.
Right.
You really
You
won't.
you need to be aggressive to a good start. Now there are two options. Either Marek Voracek just feels like going down on cards and having a sort of an optimal kind of a good hand is fine enough against Azusa.
No, he has to be quick.
But I think
He has to
I
have it
hope
in hand.
I hope he learned his lesson that
Or
he
very close
can't
to it.
really take a long time
Yeah.
to just deal with stuff
if
because
you for a, yeah, so sorry.
yeah, no worries. Because then something would just happen, like
Right.
the Trinosphere, like the Ghost Quarter Chain
It's
Destroy.
not that likely, but it definitely can happen, and you need
Yeah.
to counter it.
There can also be.
Is there a Trinisphere there?
There is a card. I think
Is
that
there? Is it there? Is it there?
I wasn't
Oh my
sure.
God.
I wasn't sure.
But
Could be.
there are no lands. Right.
I don't
Is
see
that
the
what
hand
the
so
player
well.
is laughing about?
Might be. Just keep
That
two
would be
lands
so-
or just like one lander with Trinosphere and just
Just
hope.
hoping for it. Oh yeah. And
What are you keeping? Hopes and dreams.
okay, and the Rograkh just cannot keep a hand with all.
Oh, they are showing us the hand. I can
Workable masters.
I can see only a couple of things there.
Yeah, yeah.
I saw Polluted Delta. That was the only card I'm 100% sure about. That doesn't help much.
So
Okay,
we
let's
don't
see.
go for it, but we will see in the
Yeah, we will slowly get there.
later.
So that's the Delta.
Yeah. Now we don't see anything.
Yeah, now,
Don't-
now,
don't
now we
know
don't know
anything.
much. We know that the cards he's flickering through are
Yeah,
not in the
well,
deck.
yes,
Sorry,
yes,
not in the
yes.
hand. Helps. Well, in singleton format, it does help.
Yeah, the separation of.
Now I see. No, I don't know what it is.
It's the fountain for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, that's true. That was the. No,
That's the-
I think the fountain was in the first hand. The one he moved.
Okay, this is another.
That was the hollowed fountain or something else. Radiant fountain.
Yes.
That's the one that gives you 2 life. But that was in the first one.
Okay, okay. Now the surveil.
Okay, Surveillant, probably just going to resolve.
Yeah. This is totally fine.
Yeah.
This deck doesn't.
But
really
evidently,
need the turn one
yeah,
play.
and there is no need to pretend you have some interaction. Like they know you don't have it.
That too, right?
Yeah, and there is the new land that can find. I think it's quarry something, and it can really find just whatever you need.
I don't know the land. to
Yeah,
give
it
to
is. I think it's from the Modern Horizons 3 Commander decks, and now Profane Tutor on the other
Profane
side.
Tutor.
Okay, 2 mana for.
Is it good?
Ooh,
Against Trinosphere?
that's the Amethyst.
Thorn of Amethyst.
Thorn of Amethyst.
Non-creature spells cost
Non-creature
one
spells cost 1 more to cast. I
more.
think
That is kind of a Trinosphere.
I thought that was the card I saw in the opening hand. I thought
Okay.
I wasn't sure.
Right.
But this is basically a small Trinosphere.
This is the Modern Horizons, the like old school sketch art, right?
True,
Right?
true.
So I didn't recognize.
I
it
think
at
this
all
art is
first.
from the. I
I
believe
know the original.
it is the
art.
Brothers War.
Yeah, yeah.
And now
Stitcher Supplier.
Stitcher Supplier,
The
just a
main
different
combo
art.
thing.
Yeah.
The combo piece.
Yes.
Milling Dark Ritual.
Ooh, there's even a new art. Oh my god, it looks weird.
Oh.
I'm used to the the old
Yeah.
one from M19 or when it came out. That was
Exactly.
the nice one.
I have photographic memory and or visual memory, and when I see like another card, I'm like, what is that?
Yeah, like I don't recall that, but yeah, it is the Stitcher Supplier at least based on the
To
actions.
note, important thing, the combo with Culling the Weak, Honorable Breach, and Stitcher Supplier, you pay 1 and you pay 1 for Stitcher Supplier. I believe it still works even through the Trinisphere. Because
Yeah.
you pay basically 3 mana to gain 4 per loop because creatures are unaffected.
With this one, yes.
Yes.
Through the Trinosphere, no.
And you gain, yes, definitely not.
Through the Thorn, it works.
Yeah, yeah. If through Thorn you can still combo
Okay,
off.
there is the Orcish Bowmaster, but fun thing, the Profane Tutor still needs to be paid for.
And there is an also very interesting land in Azusa side, the Abstergo
The
Entertainment.
Abstergo Entertainment.
Covered Grave Hate at instant speed.
Yes,
possibly.
that's true. The Abstergo can actually be quite useful here.
Well, pretty nice hand from Azusa, right?
True, true.
Just bunch of interaction. We saw that we said that there is next to nothing, and
Yeah.
Azusa just proved us
and
wrong.
it's just lands.
Yeah.
But this land is really something, honestly. Like in a deck that doesn't really care about having non-colored mana,
Yeah.
you're completely okay with
I
running
also
this.
played it in Tameo to reanimate Nadu. No,
Yeah. Yeah, it works. It works, right?
And
I was
didn't
thinking about
don't-
running this in Yoshimaru, but usually in Yoshimaru you can't afford to have non-colored mana.
Colorless mana.
Yeah, or colorless
But
lands.
it is legendary, right?
It is, yeah, that is the upside. It is legendary. I was really thinking about it, but
Yeah.
then I was checking other deck lists and nobody plays it.
The
So, yeah.
Well, you can be the
Ooh,
first.
Planar Nexus is the card that we saw in there. So if we can take a look at Planar Nexus.
I recall what it does. It's just each non-basic land type at the same time.
True.
So
or is
it's-
it each land type?
No, basic.
Every non-basic land
Non-basic.
type.
Because if it was a basic land, also it
Yeah.
would gain any. It would be like 5 color land.
True, and if it's each non-basic lands type, what does it help with?
It's
Is it
like
cave and
gate,
plant?
etc. Gate.
So it works with Urza lands?
No, because they refer to exact names of the cards.
Do they?
Yes, there are some like land types, I believe, but it refers to the
Okay,
types
alright,
of the cards.
alright. Regardless.
If I recall, I don't play modern, so
Right.
I know them only.
Yeah, and
like,
this
from
this is
visual.
not a more legal card,
Yes.
right? This is just a commander thing. But I think that I saw some people discussing this, that it should work with the Urza lands, because
Really?
it just asks, do you have an Urza's plant?
And-
Not the Urza's plant, but a card that has the type Urza's plant.
Yeah, because
It does.
they have the name as well as
And
the
the
type.
type, yes.
Oh, that's really
So basically,
interesting.
turn 1 days, turn to Urza's Tower for mana.
Other than that, I don't know how many like practical uses it has in the Azusa deck.
Yeah, it works with Urza. Thank you very much for saying that.
Nice.
Also, Cloud Pose also.
And also desert for the last of that
Yeah,
quarry.
deserts as well. Yeah, it works in, as you say, cave. There are some cave
Yeah.
synergies as well. It is fun. Yeah, sounds really
Some-
good.
Some.
Yeah, I don't know how many does
Cool.
Azusa play, but maybe some synergies connected to it. There needs to be a reason for it.
Wait, so if you have the Planar Nexus and Urza's Tower, so both taps for free mana?
No,
Or
just
what?
the tower, because the tower says
yes. Okay,
you tap it
right.
for mana. This
Right,
one
right.
is all the types, but it doesn't have any text.
Yeah, we still are resolving the Profane Tutor. If
Right.
we go back to the game.
Yeah, and the Profane Tutor, as I mentioned before, has to be paid for.
Yep.
You need
Because
to pay the 1 mana because it costs 1 more.
It
even
costs
though
0
you suspend it.
plus 1.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and what's he gonna do?
Yeah.
I believe finding a removal spell.
Might be
Is there a chance?
the removal for the Thorn.
Because this is definitely a
Like,
thorn
yeah.
in this side.
It has to be a Thorn on this side.
Cool.
Yeah, right. That is cool. That is
Interesting
cool.
interaction with
The Planar Nexus actually has a lot of fun interactions.
Right.
And Azusa is a land deck, so
Yep.
yeah, you can use that. Now, when it comes to the hate pieces from the side of Sam and Azusa, actually both games have some really strong hate pieces
Yeah.
against the Marek Velashek and Rograkh and Tevesh. So
Yeah.
what
that's
can
pretty
be done
painful.
here? Are there any good removals?
Well, as I said, if there is a breach plus Culling the Weak, he can just go for it right here. Hell, look at it. He has the
Okay,
culling.
okay. There is
Oh,
there
wow.
is the thing that we needed.
If he's going to go and combo through
could be.
the Thorn of Amethyst, that would be pretty crazy. And he kind of has to, because
Yeah.
there is the Abstergo just waiting
Right,
for
right.
exiling his graveyard.
The next turn, the graveyard is gone, and all the key pieces you need
it
are
can-
gone as well.
But wait. 3 mana for Breach
Yeah.
and 2... No.
Okay,
it's
Cabal Ritual
Oh my god.
for 3 mana that will give 5.
I just counted and so it was not enough, but
Now
with
you
Cabal
need
Ritual,
3 mana for playing the Breach,
Breach,
1
and-
mana for playing the Stitcher, so
And
that's
yeah,
4,
and
and 2 mana for playing the Culling, so
Right.
that's 6. Now he has 1
is
extra
enough.
mana actually.
Or you can just play Tevesh.
Just play Tevesh.
and
Sure.
just go for the grindy value.
That's true, there is no
gameplay.
pressure really.
Yeah.
So Tevesh Zod will actually be played here.
2 plus and to steal Azusa.
True,
That's the
true.
game plan, right?
Yeah, it is. Well, yes.
no. So drawing cards.
You can
into an
yeah.
answer or into win.
It's true, but I meant like you can just slowly plus it and
Yes.
then take care of stuff of your opponents.
Azusa right now cannot pressure it
Yeah.
very effectively, but sooner or later there will be some payoff in the
Yeah,
Azusa side.
absolutely. And I think drawing cards is the most important thing you need here, because you are getting closer and closer to having
Yep.
the combo. Also, the +2 making a troll or 2 trolls actually is something that you can combo together with the Culling the Weak.
And those cards that sacrifice Blisters and draw you.
Yeah,
etc.
like the nasty
Nasty
ants
Ants
and
and
other
so.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
it's actually blockers,
Trinisphere time. Oh my god, it was Trinisphere.
which basically means that all non-creature spells cost 4.
Yes.
at minimum, because it says the Thorn of Amethyst makes it cost.
I don't believe so, because as you cast the spell, you can choose the order
That's
of
true.
the
How it
effects
applies.
whenever it applies the
Okay.
Trinifis. Yeah. Because if you
Okay.
cast a spell, you add the plus, what it does.
True.
And then it checks if it's free or less.
Right.
You
Yeah.
have to pay the rest. Or
Right,
if it's
yeah.
not,
So
then
in my perfect world of hate pieces, if it could have worked better, but in the reality of Magic rules, it just costs 3. Meh.
judge call, moment call.
All right, we will have a small. Yeah, there was a call, so we will just get a judge. It might be
I
for
bet
this
the clarification
exact
of the
thing.
Trinisphere and Throne of Amethyst.
Yeah, which
interaction.
Trinospheres are commonly. It is a common thing for judge calls, and it's actually the fastest judge call ever. How much does it cost? 3. What if I do 3?
Yep.
And if I have this discount, it costs 3.
Yes, everything is
Yeah,
free.
Trinosphere is so simple yet so complicated sometimes. But
Yeah.
the simplest answer is basically this. Are you trying to make it cost less than 3? Cool, it costs 3.
Okay. Yeah.
Now-
It is true. I wasn't entirely correct. You cannot choose to pay more than like 4
Yeah,
months.
I love the small paper that says "Help, Judge Co."
Yeah, this
Not
is
just
the correct
Judge
way
Co,
to
like,
solve the situation.
help.
Clarify what you
Yeah.
what you want, and to be 100% sure, especially if you are in the
Yeah,
top 8.
100%. And guys, never forget, if you're unsure about something, if you don't know, call the judges.
Look at
They
that.
are there just to help you.
Yeah, the fingers they do.
Yeah.
Free mana.
Free
Everything.
mana, everything.
Right.
Basically, what I was saying here. How much does it cost? 3. What if I do the discount? It costs 3. What if it's the Throne of Amethyst? It costs more. No, it's 3.
Yeah.
3 is the answer. It's called Trinosphere, not Fornosphere or Tunosphere. Although the Thorn is basically Tunosphere in a way.
Tunosphere, but it doesn't matter sphere.
Yeah, it doesn't matter sphere. Well,
Combination with
it
Trinosphere.
actually does matter in this case, because if Marek finds an answer for the Trinosphere, there is still the
Right.
Thorn.
It's like less of a thorn
Yeah.
in the side, because Trinisphere is
True. Now
the
Trinosphere
ba-
is the bad thing, but
the bigger
you
thorn.
need to solve both before you start comboing.
Well, as I said, with Breach, you don't care about the Thorn of Amethyst.
True.
You can go through, but
True.
with Trinisphere, that's a stop.
Absolutely.
Trinisphere, you can do anything.
You can't combo through that because
Yeah,
you
no,
generate 4
no
mana
way.
and it costs 6.
Every ritual is wrong, except if, for example, the Cabal ritual, you pay 3, you gain 5, but it is like one of the glaring exceptions. Most of it is just you don't gain extra
Yeah.
mana, so you
I
cast
think we will
one
just
to spell
try,
pattern.
just for our viewers at home and also for us, just to have a quick check of the deck list of Marek Voracek. If there are any real answers to Thorn of Amethyst or Trinosphere, like
Is
are
there
they
like a
playing a
braid?
braid? Are they playing any kind of interaction for this?
Is there like the switch target, the malfunction spell that
I know what you
does
mean.
it destroy artifacts?
It does destroy or
Yeah.
exile even, or there could be like cast into the fire or something like this.
Yeah.
But I believe that there is probably not a lot of it.
Then what's the game plan?
Yeah, well, yeah, that is the other question. How do you win then? Do you just say like, cool, I will try to storm through this?
Like, this is such a messed up situation. You have this very powerful, very like consistent linear combo deck that ends the
Yeah.
game on turn 3-4. You are playing in the top 8,
Yeah.
and you meet a matchup that is very heavily
And-
lean towards
yeah.
you, and then you die to Trinisphere on turn
Nice.
1, and second game
Yeah.
you also first get Thorn of Amethyst and then Trinisphere.
We just got a confirmation from our deck checkers and stream controllers that there is zero,
Nothing. Yeah.
nada,
Nothing.
There's nothing. So I think that the only thing that's holding Marek together is hopes and dreams.
Yep, a Trinisphere is about to Trinistay.
Yeah,
for the rest
it's
of the
going to
game.
Trinus stay there, And I think that if Marek wants to win, he's gonna need to train and dream more about drawing like 10 lands to maybe just get through it.
Or just training attack with Orchid Bowmasters.
Yeah, you just attack with Bowmasters. It works.
Okay.
It's only 19 turn clock.
Yeah. Oh.
18 actually, because this turn he will attack.
Right.
That is the trolls. I believe there might be a possibility of
I'm
just
kind of speechless right now.
yeah, and there is still the Abstergo, so he will use the bin.
This is diabolic intent. You
Diabolic
sacrifice
intent,
creature,
okay.
You search for a card.
What card is that? Yeah, the diabolic intent. Sure, too many arts, too many cards.
This is the original one, so you.
Yeah, you're right. But
You
I'm
cannot
more
be-
familiar with the newer one actually.
We are confused by all the new that we don't recognize the old.
True. Regardless, now it's a great moment for Marek to just take a look into the deck and just
figure
slowly
out.
realize
You have nothing to.
that you are under the Trainosphere lock and there is nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. Maybe search for
That
another
would
condition?
destroy my mantle, honestly.
Yeah. Another way to push for game, some creature to attack with.
Could be, but there is not a lot of creatures. There is actually like a creature support package.
Opposition again,
Like opposition agent could be nice.
especially with the fetch line situation.
Yeah, but he will not be able to play this turn. But
Yeah.
he could try to find something. I think he can't count on the bin now because Abstergo will probably
Be
try to
online
yeah,
pretty
like
soon.
at least usable, right?
Yes. Maybe just fire on immediately to just get rid of the combos that are already
True.
in the graveyard.
True.
Because that makes just so more unlikely for him to win. There's some land, like what?
Yeah, I don't think it was a land. It was. Is it a cave of some sort? The one that you can like sacrifice to make more mana?
Yeah, sacrifice to get to black.
I think it's
believe.
double red actually, but it
red,
looks like
yeah.
the red one. But it is the same idea.
Oh yeah, that's
The one that you can like tap, sacrifice,
That's true.
and gain 2
like
mana.
Ebon Stronghold and this cycle.
Yeah, are they all called strongholds?
I don't believe so.
Yeah.
This is the one.
I think I wasn't even born when it came out, so I have no idea.
Right.
It's maybe alliances or something. If it came out before 1999, it came out before I came out.
Okay.
Before I was released into this world.
Limited edition.
Yeah, limited edition. Now we shall see. Yeah, that's true. There is an option
That is
one
a
of
possible
our
angle
viewers.
to attack.
Yeah,
the-
just go for Peer into the Abyss. Let your opponent draw cards, and the Orcish Bowmaster will do the rest.
yeah. Just,
That is an angle.
Just shoot.
Well,
to kill.
what else can you do? Also, on the other hand, do you want to scoop?
Yeah.
Why would you scoop in top 8? You are trying to find any kind of way to
If
win.
there is at least the slightest chance to win. Life from the Loam from Azusa.
Yeah, Life from the Loam is fantastic, actually, because you can just find more lands. Oh, that's the Scuttle Skewed. What is the Scuttle Swarm? The new one. The one that copies itself. And
Scuttle's form. I
Scuttle Swarm, I think. It's a Scuttle Swarm, and this card
once you have-
has crazy math.
believe. Yep.
Because you just...
After you have like 6 or more lands.
Yeah, if you have 6 or more lands, you double it every single time. Because it has landfall, create a copy of this creature.
Copy me. And
Yeah, copy
that
me for
applies to all the copies.
The copies
Yeah.
do also make a copy, which means now it's 2. There is the fetch land, so it's gonna be 8. Sorry, 4. Next one, 8.
It's the 5th land or 6th? already.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay, right.
It already created copies.
Right.
Which means we're gonna have double, and then another double, and then double, and potentially
That makes it like
Double.
turn to the clock, I believe.
I believe
Because
2
this
turns.
time you copy, and next turn you can play like 2 free lands.
Yeah.
Because you have a fetch land and life from the loam.
True.
You dredge, you return, you play all the lands, you fetch,
Yeah.
you copy it
I
bunch of
believe
times.
that
And next turn you might
like-
have a little.
like yeah,
most
like
likely.
the turn after this one, will be the setup turn, and
Yep.
then the following
Exactly.
turn is the last one, which means that this is the Marek Voracek probably has 2 turns to do something.
Yeah, probably. And that will entail lots of thinking on his side. to
Absolutely,
figure out
especially
some
through the Trinosphere.
out, or just playing the peer into the abyss.
Although the math is simple.
There is only six mana.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes.
1 mana left. That would be pretty unlucky but funny.
Yeah.
To be 1 mana short.
True. Of winning.
Yes.
And actually, there are 2 things in the graveyard that could do more mana. That's the Cabal, or actually, the Simian Spirit Guide can do it for free.
That's in the graveyard.
That's in the graveyard. Cabal Ritual that creates more
Also
mana
in
than
the
it
graveyard.
costs. It also in the graveyard. Okay, so
Drawing
Bulmassa was
card.
sacrificed, which
To
means the Peer into the Abyss plan is probably no longer online.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Marek Voracek sees the line with
Wow.
this.
Why not sacrificing the troll instead?
Maybe there is some
Reanimation?
plan of reanimating it? Because otherwise... Ooh, colored mana. I don't know how fancy you need to be if there is a Trinosphere.
And you have also green mana for your opponent having Yavimaya.
True, you get access to green. I think it's flexing now.
yeah.
I have green, you know. Yeah, that's the reason, the lake.
The lake.
The lake does a lot.
Laka Laka.
Yeah, so now he's just getting... Yeah, he needs to sacrifice a swamp when it comes in, and then it can sacrifice a swamp for 4 mana.
What else though?
Yeah, that... Good question. Pay 3 mana for Dark Ritual.
Or reanimating the...
Okay, so 2 more mana from the cave.
He is counting and he is making all this mana, so there has to be some out, right?
Absolutely. Like, otherwise, what do you do?
Oh, I would love to have a game 3, come on.
Yeah, absolutely. But the double Trinosphere lock also sounds like a riveting gameplay.
Imagine Trinisphere turn 3. What's
There is
that?
the Underworld Breach.
Okay.
Now, green, yay.
Maybe you don't need to go infinite. Maybe like the manual storm would be enough.
Maybe the green is the storm. Right?
Yes,
Because that's the first spell being played.
that's correct.
Now,
Right.
can he just chain Cabal Rituals?
Or maybe recast Bombmasters.
Because
recast
Cabal Rituals cost 3 and it gives 5.
Yeah.
So it actually adds mana. That's one of the only things
We
that
can
actually
see
do it.
any like total number of cards in graveyard, but at least twice, I believe, can be
Yeah,
played.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 or 10. 9 or 10 cards. Maybe 9. Maybe I miscounted one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so with the ritual, it's 11 cards in the bin.
Maybe
But
12 because one of the cards is like
could be,
hidden,
could be. Could be.
as you see.
Regardless, you can do this. Cool. Oh, there is a sieving song as well. So he can do the same thing.
That is also a pretty nice ritual that is completely unaffected by Trinisphere.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it does cost 3, yes.
No, it
Good
costs
call.
4 because of the Thorn. Because that's a more expensive card, right?
I
Trinisphere only like increases the count, but if it costs 3 naturally, you need to pay 1
okay.
extra.
It would be a good question if
Trinisphere is not everything costs 3 or only
Right.
the what costs less costs 3.
right, makes sense. I'm not sure if the players really followed it that way. I hope
I
so.
hope there is a
I hope
judge
so.
to count the mana.
Okay, now there is the Diabolic Incense being played for 3 mana, sacrificing the troll.
Yes.
Storm will be 4 now, I believe.
It's the game 9 of today, so players might be
Yeah, they might be tired, as we are.
kinda. Yeah, troll is gone.
Yeah,
Storm
true. And our
24.
counting on the Peer into Abyss was wrong because it should cost 8 with the Thorn. So the mana was
Oh,
still
right.
off.
Yes, exactly.
Thanks, chat.
Okay,
You know we can't do math.
you have a tutor spell, and now
Yeah, well, that's a great question. And now? What do you do now? Do you play Tendrils?
nope,
Like you now he has 3 6 mana, right?
that's not enough. Simply.
He can play Cabal Ritual to just get like 2 more.
And since the Teacher Flyer costs also 3.
You can't go for the Stitcher Supplier line. It doesn't work here.
Yeah. It needs to be something else.
Yeah. Yeah, so paying for it, now getting... The problem is...
Is this a threshold?
You're running out of threshold. But it is still a threshold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
exactly,
6, 7.
right?
Exact threshold.
Yep. And now what?
Maybe going for Tendril play? Now
More
paying
more mana,
4
please.
to gain 1 more.
Yeah. But exiling some cards.
Yeah, he needs Tendrils for 9.
Might
If
as
I'm
well
counting
hit
correctly.
the Cabal Ritual since the... it doesn't matter.
It does not matter,
It's
truly.
it's gonna be almost everything.
Let's see. Now, what is the play here?
Playing bunch of rituals into Constitution.
Yeah,
No,
just a bunch of rituals into
I
just...
believe...
Okay, Pyretic from hand.
Yeah, just upping the
So
storm count.
it doesn't really do anything. It just ups the storm count, right?
3 for 3.
The same with the same
Just
with
bunch of rituals.
Pyretic and Desperate Ritual. So another storm,
And
storm 8.
Storm is
And
8.
if he has tendrils,
One more.
that's it.
Yes.
Tendrils are
my
GG.
For 5 mana, right?
Yes. Well, 5 technically.
5,
But he
yeah.
does have enough. Ooh, that's the Storm Scale Dragon. And the Final Fortune.
Wait, is there a
That's
miscount with the...
Yeah, the mana is not mathing here right now. I think we should have a check with... Well, they are scooping. That's too late.
Yeah. I don't know.
But
It looked
the
pretty
Final
convincing.
Fortune... Yeah, but I don't see the mana. Because the Final Fortune...
Goes... No, maybe...
Yeah, and also as our players are saying, missing the tax on the either Trinosphere and also the other things. But the things already happened, guys scooped. We will see how the players want to resolve this, because this is a bit problematic.
If there is some miscounting.
Yeah, but also on the other hand, it's not only up to Marek to remember the stacks piece.
It's
It is
for both
up to Sam to remind him that no, you can't play it for 2. It costs 1 more.
I couldn't follow every single mana.
There has been little
don't
too
know
much play, but
if it was played correctly or not.
I think that our viewers are correct that he wasn't paying for the extra mana for receiving song when it comes to the Thorn of Amethyst.
Or did it? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. There has been some confirmation that it
was
worked. Legit. It was legit, sort of. It did not seem to us to actually check out when it comes to mana, but we might have miscounted. On the other hand, the Storm Scale Scion, even without the Final Fortune, would work. Let's be honest. It does not, but it would just win the next game, the next turn.
Yeah.
And there would be 9 flying copies of.
All right.
Of how big is that? It's 12. And 9 flying copies of a 12.
Right.
So that should be enough. Now we are going to the last game.
Yeah, my hopes has been answered. My prayers. We are going to have game number 3. The Trinisphere plus the Thorn of Amethyst was not enough. Rograkh, and this is really a testament to the strength of the deck, managed to win through all those stacks.
You're right. Although I do have to agree with the chat that I might have seen a couple of moments where I thought that only 3 mana was played for the receiving song.
Yeah, it is very hard to tell if we don't see the players or don't hear the players
Yeah,
talking.
exactly. And also the mana on the counter is hard to see.
They might not roll the dice, might communicate verbally, the mana changes.
Yeah,
so it's
absolutely.
hard
We
to
can't
follow
confirm
the situation.
100%, although there were no judge calls from Sam, and as far as it goes, it went according to what should have been done.
Right. So, turn 3, let's see if Azusa is going to have Trinisphere once again.
Yeah, I really hope for it. I want to see another Trinosphere. I can see 6. I can see Ghost Quarter.
Yeah, but not Trinisphere.
Yeah.
Right.
6 doesn't really do enough.
The
Ghost Quarter is fun, but Only if you have the lock.
The bridge fight spell, MDC, and this is a mulligan spell.
Not good enough.
No Sphere, no keep.
I think you really have to dig for one of these two hate pieces.
Yeah. Is there any else?
The Trinosphere and the Torn.
Yeah, and except of those two?
That's a good question.
Except the grave-hating lands, for example.
Yeah, I think there is not much more, but maybe we could take a look into Sam's deck list just to see if there is some other form of hate piece that could be used to fight Marek. But I believe that Trinosphere and the Thorn are the main things that he can use.
Right, but
apart from Graveyard.
As we saw, they are not enough.
Sometimes,
Sam also needs to have enough pressure to close the game out quick enough.
True.
Because every stack piece is
going down to 5.
Yes, Northern is
digging in, evidently digging in.
Or the stack pieces are prolonging the game and like denying.
And also you can't miss your taxes, as Chet is pointing out. If you forget to collect your taxes, it is a bit sad.
Sphere of Resistance.
Sphere of Resistance could be the card.
Basically, more general Storm of Helmet.
It's just everything costs more, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
2-mana artifact.
Yeah.
Very is the same.
But it's not in the list.
Oh no, it's 3 mana, right?
Yeah, but the card is not in the list, if I believe so. Yeah. So Sphere of Resistance is not part of Sam's deck list.
Okay. Well, obviously 2 Swax pieces are enough for Sam.
Oh, they were not evidently in this case.
Right.
Because you need the pressure as well. Now, as I see the hand, I haven't seen of Sam. I haven't seen any real stacks pieces.
Marek is mulliganing as well, I believe.
I believe Marek did.
Yeah, Oblivion Stone.
Okay, yes, Oblivion Stone is in the deck evidently, but I don't really see what it can do.
Instant
really.
speed destroying breach, but that's it.
It can destroy breach, and that's it.
There can be much else.
Right.
There's so very limited amount of cards.
True, that's the same as the new Ugin, for example. It's great against creature decks, but here, what does it do? Nothing, and that's why it's going to the bottom of library.
Yes.
It's not really useful. Yeah, keeping 5 cards that are not really great, or maybe he's keeping the Ugin? Yeah, he is keeping it. Just for the card draw, I don't know. Maybe even worse cards are going down.
Yeah, because Azusa pretty much needs at least one payoff card. Can keep only lands and Azusa, but so that it leads nowhere.
Yeah.
It needs to have at least one big thing it can play and just starting to get some value going on.
Sure.
Which Ugin does through the mana, through the card.
Okay, again the Planetary Expanse.
A Planar Nexus.
Planar Nexus, was it called? Yeah, Planar Nexus. Yes. Yeah, Planar Nexus, that's the name.
Close enough? Never mind.
Yeah.
So there is a cave and desert and
and
tower
and town.
Yes.
From now on, it's technically speaking, the set is not legal, but all names and things from it should be, which means it's technically town.
Well.
It doesn't matter at all, but it is a town.
Yes, it is a town.
And you know that this town ain't big enough.
Yeah.
But the card, that's not the card that could appear in Sam's list. It's a blue card.
Yeah, there's just a hub to any other land.
Right. Yeah, I love the comment here. He didn't miss anything. He only added 1 extra mana after resolving each
That's
song.
most likely what happened.
Could
since
be,
both players agreed. And
that's potentially the
had
case.
any trouble with
it's sometimes hard to follow it all.
Oh, so
okay, we see the exact thing we spoke about. The Urza's Tower, and it works together.
And hello, what?
Yeah. So he taps it.
Wait,
then he makes green mana.
To Azusa.
Yes, turn to Azusa.
Wow, that's a crazy
and
interaction.
Just slams in lands. Cabaretti, Courtyard, I think it's called.
Yes.
Yeah, just getting another land.
Those like anti-fetch lands or
reverse
reverse fetch
sort
lands.
of, yeah. In my region, I know it might sound insensitive to our Slovak players, but we do call these fetch lands like Košice fetch lands.
Yes.
Which is something that we grown to call like bad fetch lands. Just some cheap fetch lands, right?
Right.
Some you don't have to pay too much
This
money
is
for.
pretty quick beginning.
Yeah,
From
absolutely.
Azusa side, there might be Ugin coming next turn. Maybe
With the amount of
3,
mana.
4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 2 lands extra.
Yeah, shout out to our viewers who also call it Košice fetch. Thank you very much. I
confirmation.
hope you come from Košice. That would be the best. But I think I did not come up with that. I was actually told this name of it.
Red Fugu.
That's a Burly tutor.
Hit something. No, it's 2 mana. It's
Sylvan Scrying.
yeah, it's a tutor spell for
It's Sylvan Scrying. You can find any land with it, which is sort of a combo piece, kind of, could be. You can find some
tutor for combo piece.
graveyard hitting things.
Yeah, and the only Ugin remains in hand, and the player has 2 lands far
Right.
from it. Anything relevant?
Sure. Okay, Stitcher Supplier coming in handy once again.
Yeah, that is the strength of the deck. Also, it has technically possible turn 2 kill.
Yeah.
If you play Stitcher Supplier on turn 1, on turn 2 you have 1 black, 1 red land. From the black one you play Culling the Weak. From the red one you cast Breach, and then you just
True, and you can
plus
just
1
go for it.
and
Right.
Kill
Yeah.
on turn 2.
Yeah,
technically.
absolutely.
If you have everything in hand.
Sure. Now
Oh.
let's see what will happen on the side of Sam.
There's a land, so the phasing out.
Yeah, and so there's gonna be a fetch into basic lands and then just exile.
Oh, have we miscounted? Is
3,
both
4,
of the
5,
lands
6, 7.
are-
It's 7.
Yeah.
No. Because Urza's Tower gets 3,
Oh.
4, 5, 6, 7.
Right. I
And,
somehow
yeah.
thought that it is exactly
No
for
worries.
Azusa, but
And
no, it's
this is
for-
actually important because the
It exiles the Stitcher
the
Supplier.
Stitcher Supplier
Okay,
is
that's huge.
exiled and not in graveyards, which can really just cut away one of the options.
Yes.
And honestly, if Sam just has some time to ramp up the Ugin into the 11, you just win on spot basically. If you have enough colorless things, and
Do
actually,
you like close out the game?
You know,
you can
there are
play
some
like
nice,
Hemisphere and
Trinosphere
get all the stack
and
pieces in the
Dawn
play.
and
right?
other, you can play both the stacked pieces and also some threats.
Yeah. For example, some of the Emrakuls are in the
Could
list,
be.
right? That basically close out the game.
Yeah, 100%. It is very much possible that we will get there basically next turn.
Yeah.
Because right now it's at 9, so the following turn it will be at 11, right?
Yes. And next turn it can ultimate. So
isn't it now on 11 though? Or did I just miss a turn?
No, it has to be on 9 because it came into
Yeah,
play.
it came in and then it went up.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just misremembering. That's on me.
And Rograkh is counting again.
Rograkh's counting. You don't like to see that when you play on the other side, but that's just how the deck works. It's for people who like math.
Yeah. It is interesting because Rograkh definitely has one more turn.
Yeah.
But
After that, it's just done. There will be the stacks pieces on board.
Yeah, but he can wait a turn more.
And that's the setup turn probably.
Yes, because you
Yeah.
tutor just for some
You
card.
find, for example, Yawgmoth's Will or something.
Well,
and you
not
could
with
ma-
any
may-
rituals.
I'm just saying maybe,
Yeah,
yeah?
yeah, right.
And like you're finding the thing you're missing. Maybe
Yeah.
you're missing a ritual, maybe you're missing the Yawgmoth's Will. And then you go for it the next turn.
Yes, if you play a ritual spell or tutor spells as this deck, you can anticipate a win
Yeah.
going in next turn.
Yeah.
With the Stitcher Supplier is kind of
Yeah,
painful
it being
to
in
lose.
exile is not very nice, but if you are able to win the next turn, it's probably it. The two dragons facing each other,
Definitely depends what
Day and
is
night.
in hand.
100%. Actually, I find it quite poetic that one of them is a day and one of them is a night.
Oh yeah,
dragon.
the playmats.
The playmats
That's
I'm
pretty
talking.
sick, right.
Although I'm not 100% sure if I would make the Rakdos combo deck as the light side.
Yeah,
the good
definitely
side.
the good guy, right?
Yeah, and the bad guy is just some lady who likes lands.
Yeah.
She's evil
Yes.
because she's a landlord, evidently.
Loving the lands.
Yeah, she's got lands, And that's not what we like.
But this-
Okay, now let's see what Marek needs to find. I
just
think that
counting
the
and
search,
thinking and
yeah, there will be a lot of math and a lot of thinking. Also, you need to think about what will come out next turn from the side of Sam. Sam also will be up at 25. Don't forget, or 26. Sorry, because the Ugin gains 3 life, which makes
At
it
least.
even harder to go for the kill via the tendrils.
yeah, manual storm is that much harder to achieve.
Absolutely, and you,
Kill in the single turn.
which means you basically have the next turn. And I think that both Sam and Marek will realize this basic fact.
Maybe also just a removal spell for the Eugene. Is there like the bone shards, whatever? You sacrifice a creature.
Could
to
be, or
kill
the one that
Planeswalker?
you have to discard stuff, right? There's also something
The
like that.
yeah, 2 mana.
Yeah.
I mean, know the same thing, but don't recall the name.
You mean Bitter Triumph or something?
Yes.
Could be. I
The
I
one
don't
mana,
know the
one
around
mana is more possible,
Right.
in my opinion, but
Could be.
the second.
We
could be
shall
also.
see. There is still some searching going on, and we don't have a lot of time actually. Ooh, Dismember.
Okay.
That's the multi-python Dismember.
Right.
Just to get rid of Azusa. I don't know how that's beneficial, but
Right. The same thought. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that doesn't win the game.
It doesn't win the game. It doesn't. I don't even think
the
it
losing.
stopped Sam from winning.
Yeah, it does nothing.
Okay, there is the
Oracle of Rudaya.
Oracle. Very good.
And a tutor.
Okay, which means
He can
that's it. Or-
search it.
Or
with
he can just
the Eugene.
he can activate the Eugene
Yes.
to draw that and
That's-
find whatever he wants.
It has to be green.
Yeah,
But
I mean as a creature.
Yeah. But are there some like graveyard creatures?
There is the keen-eyed curator. If we
And
can
is
put
it
it
in the list?
that is the second
It
question.
can be, right?
But it is a double green, and for 1 mana, you activate it and exile a card from graveyards.
Yeah, the new Scavenging Goose.
Yeah, basically. Or just a scavenging ooze, right? But the keen eye is nice because it doesn't need green mana for it. Keen
Yeah,
eyed.
they both have some advantages, disadvantages, those 2 cards. And either of them could be in the list.
Yeah, we shall see. Although the graveyard is the main thing that Marek would like to keep,
Or
and Sam would like to
obviously,
fight for.
there's a chance for endurance. That is
Sure.
most likely on the list.
And actually, endurance can just be. Okay, it's probably not gonna be endurance because he just wants to take it now. Oh, there is a miracle in the list. Nice. Which is the colorless thing he can just play next turn. So
Yep.
we know that the next turn is just end.
Ooh.
Like that's it.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if it's the promised end or if it's the 15 mana Emrakul.
Yeah, and there's also the Ulamog that exiles 2 cards with when cast.
True. Yeah.
2 permanents.
True. Which pays and another Emrakul. Yeah, there's all the Emrakuls probably.
Yes.
Emrakuls. Yeah. We have the confirmation. There is all the Emrakuls.
So the Planar Nexus is a nexus of Emrakuls.
True. And
Eldrazitan.
right now we just know that there is a need to deal with the graveyard.
Yep.
And next turn you just win via Ugin.
Because that's the only angle that Rograkh can really
Yeah,
win the game through.
absolutely. And
Needs the
if
graveyard
Sam
to
plays
function.
his cards right, he will be able to stop this attempt to combo off via Marek. And if Marek doesn't combo off in his turn, it's it. It's over because you cast the cards from Ugin. You don't just
Yes.
put them in there. You cast them, which means if you play the 15 mana
Trigger
Emrakul, you
all
get
the sweet cast triggers.
yeah, but you also get the additional turn,
Yeah.
and you've got a bunch of big Eldrazi on board, which basically is GG. But now Sam is just trying to find the best thing. He has to
Thinking about
show
all
it.
the options, all the ways he can possibly
Yeah.
die next turn.
Also,
and
he's
trying to prevent that no matter what.
true. He's also maybe thinking about like what exactly do I need? What exactly can I like? Do I get the endurance, or do I do something else?
Or Ramunap.
He got the
Ramunap excavator.
yeah, the one that allows you to play
Crucible.
lands
Crucible creature.
from graveyard. Okay, how does that help with the bane of your opponent?
It lets you get through more cards because it lets you recast Azusa, recast land from the graveyard and
True.
go through other cards. I don't know if that's the right call I would make, and single hate piece would not be more powerful than that.
Maybe there are like no real graveyards answers. That could also be the case. Yeah, like endurance would be the thing that I would go for.
That is most likely in the deck list also.
Yeah, I would believe that playing endurance is something that you should need. Okay, now there is the excavator, so we will get some lands. There's also not a lot of time for this match.
Yes. Only sub 10 minutes
Yeah.
to go.
So there is the first land for turn being played. How does it help? Okay, fetching.
Doesn't need the Crucible, especially with Ramunap on board. Anything else
I
is
don't
better.
really know what was the advantage of finding the Crucible.
Just like
Sorry, the
letting-
Remenab excavator.
yeah, just letting your opponent go do whatever he wants.
Yeah, like
And-
you basically said like, okay, if you have it, you have it.
Yes.
I don't know if maybe it's the case that there is just nothing.
Or he just counted that there is no way he can die on this turn. Possibly.
How can you be sure about this?
Well, Statue Supplier is exiled, there is slash limited cards in the
Oh.
graveyard. I don't agree with that, definitely not. But
Okay, there is some sort of activation. Azusa being played again. Okay,
yeah, for the second time to have additional land drops.
two additional lands, which he can just replay from the Bane.
There's nothing useful.
Okay, so there is the Cabaretti that's probably going to be played twice, just to gain 2 life. Which, it makes you more of a healthy boy, and it allows you to survive even another copy of Tendrils.
Yes.
Which
Increases-
does isolate.
increases the odds of just surviving.
Yeah, it increases the odds. Although if they just have the full storm,
Yeah. Just
it doesn't
please
matter.
shuffle the library, thank you.
Yeah, that
Not like
would be nice.
earlier today.
Right, which was kind of big deal actually.
Yeah. Right. Another Crucible on top of library.
Okay,
What a
that's
chance.
great.
And another Cabaretti.
Yeah, probably just replay the Cabaretti to get the land drop number 4 for this turn, just to get another land, go up to 28, and just be ready to see if Marek has it.
Yeah, eating up to what? 19 tendrils?
Sure, yes. You 19? Yes,
I'm
that is the
discounting
number.
definitely.
You're overdoing it. 14.
yeah, exactly.
He
Something
would
like
need
that.
14 sorry, so 13 storm and then the tendrils.
But 19 would be good too, right?
Sure, 19
So
would win.
I'm not wrong.
Yeah, 19 would win, but he needs at least
14.
14.
Yes. And once
Sure.
the 14 tendrils is there, the game would end. Can Rograkh do it?
Yeah, we shall see, because there is only 6 minutes in this round left, so we will have to probably get to it.
Well, I don't think it would matter because in extra turns,
Let's
You
be
again
honest.
would
Let's be honest.
ultimate.
Even with the extra turns, there is either the Ugin ultimate and win,
Yeah.
or there is the
Combo and
the
win.
combo and win. So during the next 2 turns,
yes,
we know who's the winner.
yes,
Actually, during the next turn,
yes.
because if
exactly.
Marek doesn't find it, we
and
know who
passes a
wins.
turn
Yes.
with your game on board,
Yes. So the next turn shall decide the fate of Middle Earth. Sorry, this game.
roll on
And
the top, please. Another Crucible, no.
another. Well, it kind of works like it actually. It kind of works the same as the Oracle. Yeah.
Right.
Ogre of Summer, I think, is the card on top.
Yes, 6 cards.
Yeah.
Well, today we see multiple times when the players could pull off some incredible stuff.
Absolutely.
And win the game seemingly out of nowhere. Can Rograkh do it now?
Yeah, I believe there is an option for it. I believe that it could happen. I am not 100% sure if Rograkh has all it takes, but does it really matter what I think? They either have it or they don't.
Well,
Now
you
they play the
transmute of the shred memory, searching
Okay.
for a 2 mana cost card.
How does that help in this position?
Well, not with 1 mana in play, but
Yeah.
if there is some ritual. And
Well, yes,
another
that's
ritual,
true.
and
That's
another
true.
ritual.
You can find there is still Rograkh available. Cabal, yes.
And we-
So we can go for Rograkh into Calling Ritual into.
Wait, no,
Dark
he's
Ritual.
passing the turn.
So
Oh my
that's it.
God. It might be.
Like, if let's imagine this following situation, we're just dumb. It happens. We are people. And we have been commentating,
Or there is
doing
just
commentary
no
for a
chance
long
and he's
time.
He's just
But in what world do you not just
forget about it.
use the Ugin ultimate and just win?
Right.
Like maybe we are misreading the Ugin. Can we please get the Ugin on there so we can just remind ourselves what it does? But it is up at 12.
Oh wait, you
11.
got not cast the pact, not paid for.
Yeah, sure. He forgot to pay for the pack, but honestly, if you forget, you
It-
just put it on the stack at the moment.
Yes,
it can
exactly.
happen. That is something that happens. It doesn't matter.
I think Yugin is.
Yes, there's gonna be the
Ultimately.
ultimate, and that's it. Yes, he's gonna read it and realize he's I'm
Done.
sorry, done for. I wanted to use much worse word, but he's completely destroyed because now all the Emeralds will be played,
All the trains.
all the trainer spheres will be played, and that is it.
Yes. Because
I don't think that Marek
Trinisphere
realized.
plus Yulamog that exiles 2 lands. I think they are just going through the motions.
Yeah, they will just go through the
know that-
motions.
They know that the game is over. they
Actually, yeah, actually this one is devoid, so it's colorless.
Yes. So as another land getting destroyed, or it's just it's just searching with not.
It can be
no
kicked.
kicker.
Yeah, but he's
It can be kicked.
Oh, true.
It is
true.
additional cost.
That's right. But does it matter?
No.
He just puts in.
Trinisphere and exile 3
No,
lands.
no, that doesn't matter. He can do any number. He can
Yes.
do any number.
Just
And
confirmation. if
Just play
correct one.
all he needs, and the most important thing is that he will play the Emrakul for 15, gain an extra turn, and just win. Yeah, World Breaker, another
Not for 15,
Emrakul.
that one is banned. but the 13,
That's true. That's
the 13
true.
one.
That's true. So sorry, I forgot that the one. Yeah.
He kind of gains the extra turn. The opponent's ones peer into the abyss. Oh
He,
my
he
God.
just shows him the hand.
Right. It is over. Yeah. The Azusa player win the game.
It
They're
looks like
just,
it. It's just like
showing up
okay, I
what
had
could
this.
happen.
Because yeah, it looks like Sam will just play all the stuff, and that's it.
Yes,
All right,
GG.
GG's.
Fantastic.
Now this has been a brutal turn. We shall go into a break for about 10 minutes just to find for you players, but not for quarterfinals.
Maybe some interview.
Maybe in the meantime we could do that before we start the next turn.
Or
We
not.
shall see. We
Yes.
shall see. But we will actually get to quarter.